Where are the Q3 numbers? This doesn't match the projection.
You notice a number has changed. Not dramatically, just enough to make you pause. Your manager changed it. Your job is simply to enter it into the system, and somewhere in your mind, a sentence appears. I'm just entering it. I'm not deciding it. But you did make a decision. You decided to enter it. And that tiny distinction matters. Because sometimes the most important decision in a chain of events is made by the person who believes they aren't making one. Think about the last time you disagreed with a decision at work and said nothing. Maybe you thought, I'm just following orders. Or I can't afford to lose this job. Or someone above me is responsible. Not me. Maybe you've said one of them. Maybe you've heard someone else say it. Maybe you've simply thought it. But was it true? Or was it just the easiest thing to believe? Because history contains moments when these excuses were tested. And one of the darkest came in Vietnam. March 16, 1968. My Le, a village in South Vietnam. American soldiers entered the area during a combat operation. What happened there became one of the most notorious atrocities in U.S. military history. Hundreds of unarmed Vietnamese civilians were killed. The exact number has been disputed, but the Army's later investigation concluded that at least 175 people, and possibly more than 400,
Keep your
were
eyes
killed.
on the tree line.
We don't need to show the bodies. We don't need to show the violence. The facts are disturbing enough. What matters for our investigation is something else. This was not simply a story about one person giving one order.
The later Piers investigation found failures across the chain of command, not simply at the level of the soldiers on the ground.
Execute the sweep on Objective Bravo.
Blue T, move your unit to Bravo. Outcast 1, advance toward the village.
It was a chain. Orders moved downward. Interpretations changed. People acted. Others watched. Some participated. Some remained silent. And later, some reports concealed what had happened. The later Piers investigation found failures across the chain of command, not simply at the level of the soldiers on the ground. Leaders failed to check. People failed to question. Reports failed to tell the truth. That is important. Because if we say, one leader caused it, we miss the mechanism. And if we say, everyone was just following orders, we miss something even more important. The people carrying out a decision are part of what makes that decision real. An order can be given, but it still needs people to carry it forward. Notice what that means. In this story, almost nobody was purely a leader. At every rank was also a follower, passing a decision along instead of stopping to question it. Psychologically, it's not me. There are at least 3 explanations a follower can reach for when something goes wrong. Let's take them one at a time. 1. I was following orders. We've already encountered this one. Milgram showed us the pull of authorities. Bardo showed us how roles and environments can shape behavior. Authority matters. But authority doesn't automatically make an instruction right. Following an order can explain why someone acted. It does not automatically answer whether they should have acted. 2. I couldn't afford to lose my job. This one is different. Now the authority isn't just above you. It's behind your paycheck, your promotion, your career, your security. Fear can make silence feel rational. And sometimes the cost of speaking up really is high. But fear explains a choice. It doesn't necessarily erase the choice. 3. He's responsible. Not me. This may be the most comfortable excuse of all. Because responsibility seems to travel upward. The leader gave the instruction. The manager approved it. The supervisor passed it down. You simply carried it out. But responsibility doesn't always travel as neatly as authority. Sometimes, it stays with everyone who helped move the decision forward. And then my lie gives us something unexpected. Someone who had every reason to remain a follower, but chose not to become a passive one. 3 different excuses. 3 different mechanisms. One result every time the decision gets made, and somehow nobody made it. His name was Hugh Thompson Jr. On March 16, 1968, Thompson was flying a reconnaissance helicopter over my lie with his crew. From the air, they began seeing something that didn't fit the picture of an ordinary combat operation.
Large numbers of civilians. Bodies. No apparent enemy fire. Thompson landed to investigate. He encountered American soldiers shooting unarmed villagers. He was told, in essence, that they were following orders. Think about that for a moment. He was not standing outside the system. He was part of it. He wore the same uniform. He was operating inside the same military hierarchy. He had the same war around him. He had the same pressure to follow the mission. But he did something different. He questioned what he was seeing. He intervened. And when he saw soldiers moving toward civilians, he placed his helicopter between them. He and his crew helped evacuate civilians to safety. They made several flights to rescue people. And Thompson reported what he had witnessed. He did not become the commander. He did not receive a new rank. He did not suddenly acquire authority over the people on the ground. He was still a follower. But he exercised something that followers often forget they possess: judgment. He saw. He questioned. He acted. And he accepted responsibility for the decision he made. It took 30 years for the Army to formally recognize what he did. In 1998, Thompson, Colburn, and Andreatta, posthumously, were awarded the Soldier's Medal. Nobody made Thompson a leader that day. He held no more authority than the men he stopped. The choice: 2 people can stand inside the same system and make very different choices. One can say, "I'm just following orders." Another can ask, "Is this something I should be following?" That difference is not leadership. It is not rank. It is not position. It is something more fundamental. The willingness to recognize, I am still responsible for what I choose to do next. Because being a follower does not mean becoming powerless. And following does not mean surrendering judgment. The follower, remember that number? The one you were at.
If followers can give authority its power, can they also take some of that power back?
Disregard any previous protocols.
That's where we go next.
Before you follow